If it's loose, I'll make it tight. That's right.
Welcome back. You're listening to, that's Eric Stromer singing.
That's right.
And
That's
there
your
he
Fix-It
is.
Man right there.
And I'm Cindy Dole, and this
Yep.
is Home Wizards.
Hi,
and
guys.
You sing and you do
I
things.
sing, I dance, I fly, I skip rope. I do it all. It's amazing. And I'm a parent of 3 kids under 15, and I just got off the highway yesterday driving about 8 hours in a car with them, and I wanted to strangle each and every one of them.
And you got a pot roast
Not
in the
strangle them,
crock
but love them and
Oh.
love them hard and tight, but sort of strangle.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you need some stress release.
That's what
in
I
the
need.
form of some chores.
That's right.
Like, how about a workbench or a craft space? Because we all have our various hobbies and tasks that we want to do, where we spread it out and work on it. Like for me, I love my garden projects. So
Yes.
help us with some ideas.
You know,
Liz.
every great creative space must have an efficient and appropriate work table. You got to do it. You know, think about it. If you're a chef, if you're someone who's a crafter, if you're a construction guy or somebody that's a model builder, whatever it is, an artist, you have to have a great table, right?
Right.
And oftentimes the key to a great table is the fact that it's not going to go wanky on you, and it's not going to rack back and forth and move, because if you're doing critical little things that require detail and concentration, if the thing like a restaurant table that
I was gonna
moves
say,
around,
I
right?
hate that.
If you have that, it's going to make the process awful. So, having said that, a really simple, solid work surface is a great idea. And workbenches are easy to build. You can buy them. You can make them. There's many different opportunities to do that. I often find corners work the best, especially if it's a garage, where you want to kind of allocate one little corner for yourself. If you're going to do something like a workbench, you can easily build it out of 2x4s. There's all sorts of different ideas and plans online. Google them immediately. You'll see 50 different ways to build these things. Simple, easy. You can use a hammer, nails, or you can use a screw gun and drywall screws or wood screws. Very, very simple. And basically, it's always about, you know, getting your 4 legs and then your beautiful solid surface. You don't want a lot of slats on the top of the surface. You prefer to have one solid piece. Even just one piece of 3/4 inch plywood is going to be the ticket. So if you don't want to get into building a workbench, which could be a little overwhelming if you're not somebody that has the tools to do it, what about taking an old dresser that's a substantial dresser, and then taking the drawers out of it if you want to, and then just having your cubbies or the drawer slides in. Those could be shelving systems that are open shelving, so you can easily access things. You may have to amend them by laying little tiny pieces of plywood inside where the drawers used to slide. Or you can just leave the drawers as they are. But as long as you have a nice solid, even butcher block. Butcher block is very inexpensive as it is priced out per linear foot. It's very inexpensive, so it's a great opportunity. Why not skimp on the base by going to a garage sale and finding an old dresser, but then spend a little money on the top, and you can literally just lay that thing down and shoot screws up underneath into the butcher block from the dresser when you take the drawer out to secure the top to the base. I think that's a real great opportunity and great option. And if you have big, solid surfaces like that, even the Formica that you can buy pre-cut at the big box stores, which is, you know, those
IKEA even.
yeah,
right?
IKEA, those pre-shaped, countertops that you see in rental apartments or things like that. Again, that's very inexpensive as a price point, and you could even do things like filing cabinet bases on the bottom on either side, and then lay the top on top of that. So more importantly than what the base is made of, it's just the fact that you want it to be solid, and you want to keep that surface as the main focal point and the reason to spend a little bit of money. Take it there.
You mentioned a moment ago about using the corner. I love that idea too. Does it feel like you can get more workspace out of your area by
yes,
like
absolutely.
Almost like you'd have 2 tables in one?
Yeah, you can create sort of an L-shaped table if you're going to build it yourself. And then the good news about a corner is that you can have the shelving sort of die into that corner, so it just gives you like a little nook feel.
I love that.
It feels like it takes up less space in the garage if you've got a family with a bunch of kids and a car and your drum set and your kids' amps and all that stuff like I have in my house. The corner is a great place to sort of have a stool, maybe a nice work light. That's the other thing that's great. Anytime you have these work areas, a great work light that has a spring arm, much like what we have here in the studio with our microphones hanging from them. It's like a lamp that can move around effectively and go right into that worktop. Shelving, again, over these these desk systems or these table systems are very, very easy to install. You just need right angle iron that you can buy, shelving brackets at any store. If it's a garage and your framing is exposed, you're going to see where that framing is, so you can screw those things right into the framing itself, and then just put a couple pieces of plywood on top. End of story, done. You got an instant work area, and that's really like a 4 or 5 hour job if you're going to transform a corner from nothing into a work system. That's all it's going to take.
And that corner idea could really be anywhere.
Could be
in
anywhere.
Your home, outside.
Yes, and now here's another great idea. If you have limited space and you don't want to occupy the garage, why not take a guest bedroom's closet, remove the guts out of that closet, take the hanging pole out, the top shelf, put a piece of 1x2 around the perimeter of the interior of that closet at desk height on the 3 walls in the closet, and then have a piece of plywood cut to fit right in that space so you have a little work desk. Then affix a little 1x2 piece of wood across the face of the plywood. That'll give that plywood rigidity so it doesn't go, and have an archy feel to it. So if you go ahead and glue a nail in the face of that plywood in the front, you're going to have essentially a desk with a little face piece that's about 2 inches deep or wide, right? And then that's your instant workspace, and you can close that door when you don't want to see it, or have a chair tucked in there, so it's just either an instant office or an instant work area with a craft capability.
Wrapping center, you name it.
Wrapping center,
Yeah.
yes. And for wrapping, the great thing to do is just have a piece of wood with a couple of dowels sticking out of it, and then you can put your wrapping paper rolls on that, and it can sort of stick out that way, and it's easy to access, and it's almost like you're in a department store.
Sure.
Like at Christmas time, ma'am, can I wrap that for you? I'm going to go ahead and, honey, I'm going to just be in the wrapping station.
I did that
here
actually for a
Yeah.
high school a job during
Did
the
you really?
holidays. I was the Christmas wrapper.
Did you fold the corners before you taped them? Were you that good?
I don't know if I think I did.
Yeah, because
I did.
that gives you that nice clean look.
I think
doesn't
I
it?
did.
You were one of those.
No,
I envied those
no.
folks because I can't. I just take paper and scrunch it up and then put a bow around it.
Well, we
and
had to
call
make it a
done.
challenge. It was kind of a boring job,
Yeah,
so
I
you had
bet.
to kind of make it a little more. But I like the idea, too, of taking a desk and making it something like on wheels,
Sure.
so we can have it
Yeah,
as a
if-
garden
if-
table
yeah.
on wheels or inside.
That's
or,
right. So if you have that kind of a possibility of a cart or a table that you just go ahead and drill holes underneath into the legs, the 4 legs on the bottom, and then screw in the wheels, that would be a really great
that are
idea.
cheap at the hardware store.
But you have to make sure that the legs are rigid and they're not wonky, because if you have wheels on there and you're kind of trying to roll it over brick, it's going to ultimately just snap a leg on you. So
Yeah.
make sure it's a real solid table. How about a workbench turned into a potting bench, something outside where you can just go ahead and place it under a window area or in a corner in your home outside, right? Again, creating an area where you can store some firewood underneath, or some. The surface can be
Your
a place
pots.
for plants and pots and
Uh-huh.
all that great stuff. Even, we saw seeds that can be
Yes.
started there. Where
Yes.
you take your little egg cartons and then throw
Start
some
little
soil in there,
seedlings.
little seedlings, and have that be the place where you do that.
This,
right?
I have something similar to this. In fact, I want to paint it with chalkboard paint still, and then put parsley and chives and little decorative things. But that's my fun little creative zone.
Isn't
And you
that
could
nice?
put like a little birdhouse out there.
You
and
your
anything.
sun hat.
And your son.
It can become a design space too.
See,
where
yeah.
it looks beautiful and is functional. That's what I love, right? And then things like, you may want to take a look at some of your stores like Sears or places that sort of sell these prefab cabinets, IKEA, like you were talking about before, where they do sell things on wheels, like tool benches. Craftsman has a
Right,
great
right.
line where you can actually have a tool bench on wheels, and those could be integrated into sort of this whole modern, sleek feeling garage fantasy land, right? Where you can have your little refrigerator on one side for your beer when you're doing your project. The other side can be that rolling desk
Well,
with
now
the
you're talking
countertop
man
over
cave.
it.
This is kind of
This is ultimate man cave.
Yeah,
And again, you're going to need a great floor. You can epoxy your cement floor in your garage like you did with tell them about your sprinkling technique for the glitter. I love that. It's amazing.
Well, you can see it on the website.
Take a look at this. This is
If you
fun.
go to Your Home Wizard, you'll see we did the garage makeover, and it was a 2-person job, by the way, the epoxy flooring, but it still looks gorgeous. You buy it, and you get the stuff at the big box stores. Eric had a good tip about mixing it, though, because the first time we didn't mix it properly.
You want to have a paddle blade on a drill so that it mixes the material, because it's an epoxy. You have to do 2 stages of mixing different things.
Yeah.
So if you swirl it with the drill, it's all uniform.
Uniform thickness, and then otherwise
But then here's the drama.
the
Lights come down.
and the flecks come.
The flecks come.
Well, so my husband was applying the actual epoxy while I was the fleck fairy.
Heck yeah, you were.
Basically the technique is you don't want to just drop these flecks beneath you, because then it clumps.
You
want
have
it
to
to be
cast your
dispersed.
arm outward and throw it in the air and laugh and throw your head.
I did it like a softball pitch, and bring it back. Out and bring it back. Anyway,
It looks even and good, though,
It
by the
looks
way.
pretty
You
darn good.
take a look at the video, guys, online. It's great.
we have more ideas for you. Naturally coming up, Eric Strober, Cindy Dole. You're listening to Home Wizards.